Hi everybody, in today's video we're going to be looking at linear modeling. Now as a reminder, a linear model is an equation of a line in a real world situation. So what makes this a linear model instead of just a linear equation is that it's using a real world situation. Now we can remember that linear means line because the word line is actually at the beginning of the word linear. When we write a linear model, we're going to use the equation y equals mx plus b, which is the same equation we've been using to write the equations of lines up until now. To write this equation, you're going to need a slope and you're going to need a y-intercept. So we're going to talk a little bit about where you find that information in a word problem. The slope in a linear model is the letter m in the equation, and it stands for the number that repeats. For example, in this problem it says a truck rental company rents a moving truck for 1 day by charging $29 plus 20 cents per mile. Because I'm going to get charged the 20 cents over and over and over again, it's the repeating value. So that's the slope. The y-intercept in a linear model is always the b value in the equation. And this is a one-time value. It's a charge that will only occur once, or an amount that you started with. So a truck rental, or we should maybe say starting value sometimes. It could be either one of these. So if we go back to this idea, a truck rental company rents a moving truck for 1 day by charging $29 plus 20 cents per mile. This $29 is only going to get charged one time. So that would be your b value. And this 20 cents per mile is going to get charged repeatedly. So that's going to end up being your slope value in your equation. Now, whenever we ask you to write a linear model, we're going to ask you to start by writing the equation and using specific variables. So it says write a linear model that relates the cost, C, in dollars, of renting a truck to the number of X miles driven. So in this problem, X is going to stand for the number of miles, and the number of dollars that I'm going to get charged total is going to be the cost. So what I would say is that C equals the cost in dollars, and X equals the number of miles. To write the equation, I would start like this. Normally I say y equals mx plus b, but in this problem they're telling me use c and x instead of y and x. So I would start with y equals mx plus b, and I would replace the y with c equals. Now my m is going to be the number that repeats, so 0.20, and then x. You'll notice that x is the miles, and this says 20 cents per mile. These tell you they're related because they both are talking about the miles, plus my b value, which is my one-time number, so $29. Now in part B it says, find the cost of driving 110 miles. So it's telling me 110 is the number of miles, which means this is an x value. because in this equation, x stands for the number of miles. So I would use that and I would plug it in to the equation here. And so I would write c equals 0.20 times 110 plus 29. Now I'm going to go ahead and just type this into my calculator, 0.20 times 110. And when I do that, I get, let's see here, 0.20 times 110 plus 29, and I get 51. Now, I need to have some sort of a label on my answer. 51 what? Since C stands for the cost, this is going to be $51 that I'm going to be charged. Now, the next part says, if you had $300 to spend, how far could you drive? So here they're telling me I have $300, which is the cost. So in this equation, I'm going to replace the C with 300. And I'm going to write equals 0.20x plus 29. Now in order to get x, I have to start by subtracting 29 on both sides, which means I get 271 equals 0.20x, and then I would divide by 0.2. So if I divide by 0.2, and again I'm going to use my calculator for this, I get 1,355. Once again, I need a label here. 1,355 what? So, since x is the number of miles and this is x, I would write miles here. Oop, you can't see my writing. Okay. All right, let's do another one. So it says a chemist's salary was $3,500 in 1985 and increased by $300 per year. So I'm starting with $35,000, which is my initial value, my one-time amount, and I'm increasing $300 per year. So that's going to repeat, so that's my slope. It says write a linear model that relates the salary S of the chemist to the number of years since 1985. So I'm going to start by writing down what my variables stand for. The salary is S. Salary means how much money you make, so that's going to be measured in dollars. And X is going to be the number of years since 1985. So it's not the same thing as saying what year is it now, it's saying how long has it been since 1985. My equation then would look like this. S equals my M, which is a one-time thing, 300, times X, plus my B value, which is $35,000. If it says in part B, estimate the chemist's salary in 1991. 1991 is a year. And that year is 6 years after 1985. So my value that I'm going to plug in is going to be 6. So I would write S equals 300 times 6 plus 35,000. So in the end, I should get, I'm using my calculator, 36,800. Oop. It says if the chemist is earning $38,000, estimate the year. So if I know that the salary is $38,000, what year is it? So I would say 38,000 equals 300x plus 35,000. Now I'm going to have to solve this, so I would subtract the 35,000 on both sides, and I would get 3,000 equals 300x. Then I would divide by 300, and I would get x equals 10. But that doesn't tell me what year it is. It says estimate the year. It's not the year 10. It's not like 10 BC when dinosaurs were still around or whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to say it's been 10 years after 1985 because we're measuring for how many years it is after 1985. If it's been 10 years, then the new year would be 1985 plus 10, which is 1995. All right, we're going to go ahead and stop there. We'll probably do a few more examples in class before we start practicing when I see you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great afternoon.